Yeah! Skyward! Yeah! Skyward! Scatter!
You know, Paimon started out thinking Rawat was a handsome researcher with a friendly and cheerful personality. It's such a surprise to learn that his peers have a different impression of him.
So, what's your view of him now, Paimon?
A handsome researcher whose difficult upbringing turned him into a profit chaser with a chip on his shoulder?
So your thoughts about his appearance haven't changed at all?
Well, his looks are kind of a big deal, at least in Paimon's opinion. How does such a handsome guy end up being so antisocial? Even with his difficult family background, it just doesn't make any sense.
You can't judge a person solely based on their appearance.
Head nurse. Traveler. I assume you've spoken with the researchers. What did you find out?
Bertram mentioned Rawat's involvement with some pharmaceutical merchants. Do you know if he's registered any pharmaceutical brands?
Since he was a whistleblower on such a huge case, I ran a background check on him. I don't remember there being any brands under his name.
How strange. If he was so focused on commercializing his research and averse to sharing his technology with others, why wouldn't he have registered his own brands? Maybe he and his business partners needed to avoid public scrutiny?
You think he may have colluded with the gang? Well, the crime was manufacture and sale of drugs, and that would certainly be in his wheelhouse. We can't rule it out.
Isn't that pretty unlikely, though? He was the one who blew the whistle on them!
Most children who come to me with tooth decay have suffered pain for a long time already, but they'll still try to hide the fact that they eat too many sweets. Grown-ups and children aren't so different in that regard.
If you say so.
I saw him when he came to make his report, and I certainly didn't get the feeling that he was the type to collude with criminals. Perhaps it's more likely that they were coercing him. You mentioned that he comes from a poor family. So, it's possible that the criminals approached him asking for academic support, luring him in with the promise of riches. By the time he discovered who they really were, he was in too deep. They had leverage on him, so he was forced to keep working for them. I've seen it happen many times before.
That does make a lot of sense. It would definitely explain why he was so unwilling to cooperate with his fellow researchers. No wonder he's so unsociable. He must be on edge all the time with a gang of crooks breathing down his neck.
In that case, the situation could be worse than we thought. If Rawat was working with the escaped inmates, they're sure to know more about his whereabouts than us. Oh, there's a good chance they'll get to him before we do.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, he was last seen 2 days ago. If no one's seen him since, maybe we're too late.
2 days ago? So he went missing right after that product promotion.
That was the same day he reported the criminals, too. Not a good sign.
Don't worry, everyone. I believe we still have a chance. Since he disappeared right after blowing the whistle, it's likely that he's gone into hiding.
Yeah, he must have been worried that they'd come for him.
All the more reason to find him as soon as possible. The only lead we have at the moment is his mother's house, which you mentioned earlier. Seath, think you can find the place?
Yep. When you register a brand, the Court of Fontaine requires you to provide a legal address. The one Rawat wrote down was in the outskirts of the city. That should be the place.
Okay, then there's no time to lose. Let's move.